In 2022, the United States, the European Union, and the United Kingdom announced the most sweeping financial sanctions package in modern history. They froze Russian assets, blacklisted hundreds of oligarchs, cut major Russian banks off from SWIFT, seized superyachts worth billions, grounded private jets across European airspace. The message was clear. If you are connected to the Kremlin, the Western financial system is close to you. Within 90 days, more than 300,000 Russians had relocated to a single city, not Moscow, not Hong Kong, not Geneva, Dubai. And they didn't come alone. They came with money, with shell companies, with crypto wallets, with gold bars, with suitcases full of cash. And Dubai, by design, asked almost no questions. But it isn't just Russians. Dubai simultaneously serves Iranian oil traders evading US sanctions, Afghan warlords moving cash through ancient money networks, South American cartels laundering drug proceeds into luxury real estate, North Korean hackers converting stolen cryptocurrency into untraceable cash. All of them, all at once, in the same city. This is the story of how one city became the world's preferred financial escape hatch, and why the West, for all its financial firepower, has done almost nothing meaningful to stop it. The United Arab Emirates gained independence in 1971. At that moment, it was a collection of small desert sheikdoms with limited oil reserves and no obvious path to long-term relevance. Sheikh Rashid bin Zayed Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai, understood something that most leaders didn't. Oil was a countdown, not a foundation. He made a decision that would define the next 50 years, build a global financial and trading hub that could attract capital from anywhere in the world. The structure he built was deliberate. No income tax, no corporate tax, no capital gains tax, no public registry of who owns what. Free zones were established where foreign companies could operate with 100% foreign ownership, no requirement to file accounts publicly, and complete repatriation of all profits. By 2022, there were more than 45 free zones across the UAE. The Jebel Ali Free Zone, the largest in the world, hosts over 9,500 companies from more than 100 countries. Many of those companies have no physical presence, no staff, no office, just a registration document and a mailbox. This was not an oversight, it was an invitation. An invitation extended to every business, every investor, and every government on earth, including the ones that every other financial center had decided to exclude. If there is one system more opaque than Dubai's free zones, it is its real estate market. For decades, the United Arab Emirates had no beneficial ownership registry for property. A shell company, registered in the British Virgin Islands, owned by a trust in Liechtenstein, managed by a nominee director in the Seychelles, could purchase a $50 million penthouse on the Palm Jumeirah, and no government on earth could definitively trace who actually owned it. Cash purchases were entirely legal, no mortgage required, no source of funds verification enforced in practice. When Russian forces entered Ukraine in February 2022, property agents in Dubai reported an immediate surge in Russian inquiries. By the end of that year, Russians had become the single largest group of foreign property buyers in Dubai, spending an estimated $1.5 billion in UAE real estate in 12 months. A Reuters investigation identified more than 100 properties in Dubai linked to individuals who appeared on the OFAC sanctions blacklist. These purchases happened through nominee directors and layered corporate structures that technically obscured the sanctioned owner's name. 100 publicly traceable properties. The real number is almost certainly multiples higher. Roman Abramovich, sanctioned by the UK, EU, and United States, was reported to have significant assets moved through UAE-linked structures. Alisher Usmanov, one of Russia's wealthiest men and a designated EU and UK target, owned a $600 million superyacht that was reported to have been rerouted toward UAE waters before European seizures could occur. The pattern was the same every time. Sanction the individual in the West, move the assets to Dubai before the paperwork catches up. Dubai is the world's largest gold trading hub. The Dubai Multi-Commodity Center, the DMCC, processes approximately $37 billion worth of gold every single year. Gold arrives from West Africa, Central Africa, South America, and Central Asia. Much of it is conflict gold, extracted in active war zones, smuggled across borders, passed through chains of middlemen before it reaches Dubai. Gold from Sudan, where the Rapid Support Forces, a paramilitary group currently prosecuting a civil war, fund their operations through artisanal mining. Gold from the Democratic Republic of Congo, where armed groups control mines at gunpoint. Gold from Zimbabwe, whose government has faced sanctions for decades. It all arrives in Dubai. It is refined, recast into new bars, and re-exported with documentation listing the UAE as the country of origin. For Iran, gold serves a different purpose. When dollar-denominated transactions are blocked, gold is physical, portable, and accepted everywhere on earth. Iranian entities route gold through UAE-registered front companies, selling it to DMCC-registered traders who apply minimal due diligence. The proceeds return as clean UAE dirhams. A 2022 United Nations panel of experts report estimated that Iran was moving hundreds of millions of dollars per year through UAE-based gold trading networks year after year, with minimal interruption. Iran and the United Arab Emirates share a 150-mile maritime border across the Strait of Hormuz. They also share something the United States has been unable to sever, a commercial relationship that has survived every round of US sanctions since 1979. The mechanism is always the same. An Iranian exporter registers a company in the UAE, often in the Jebel Ali Free Zone. The company appears to be an Emirati trading firm. It sources goods from global suppliers, electronics, industrial machinery, aviation parts, dual-use components that are prohibited under US sanctions law. Those goods are re-exported to Iran, relabeled as UAE origin products. This process is called transshipment. It is illegal under US law, and it has been happening continuously for over 4 decades. The US Treasury has identified the Jebel Ali Free Zone as a sanctions evasion hub in every major report since 2012. Every year, a new set of company designations target specific front operations. And every year, new front companies appear within weeks to replace them. By 2023, American officials estimated that Iran was recovering approximately $700 million per month through UAE-based evasion networks. The sanctions cost Iran tens of billions. The evasion networks returned hundreds of millions every single month. The gap between what the sanctions cost and what the evasion recovered never closed. The story of Dubai's financial opacity is not limited to geopolitical adversaries of the West. It extends into the criminal underworld as well. Colombian and Mexican drug cartels have identified Dubai as a preferred destination for laundering narco proceeds into legitimate assets. The mechanism follows the same logic as every other use case: no income tax, minimal oversight, and a real estate market that accepts large cash transactions without demanding detailed explanations. The United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime identified the UAE as a significant transit and laundering destination for drug money in its 2022 World Drug Report. Cartel operatives establish UAE-registered trading companies, route drug proceeds through hawala networks, the same informal money transfer system the Taliban uses, and convert those funds into Dubai apartments and commercial properties. A single apartment purchased in cash in Dubai Marina represents untraceable, legally held real estate in one of the world's fastest appreciating property markets. The cartel operative who bought it is now a real estate investor. Dubai's appeal to criminal organizations is the same as its appeal to sanctioned governments. The city is genuinely useful, genuinely beautiful, and genuinely profitable. Dirty money enters, clean money exits. No extradition treaty with the United States makes the arrangement particularly attractive for anyone with legal exposure in the West. The UAE has extradition agreements with approximately 30 countries. The United States is not one of them. Dubai's newest financial tool does not require a building, a bank account, or even a registered company. The UAE has deliberately positioned itself as one of the world's most permissive cryptocurrency regulatory environments. In 2022, it established the Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, known as VARA, not to restrict digital assets but to legitimize them while maintaining minimal controls on who could actually use the system. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, relocated its effective headquarters to Dubai in 2022. The same year, it was under active investigation by the US Department of Justice for money laundering and sanctions violations. Bybit, the exchange that lost $1.5 billion in the Lazarus Group hack, which we covered in a previous video, is also headquartered in Dubai. The appeal is straightforward. Dubai's framework permits large over-the-counter trading desks to operate with limited customer verification requirements. These OTC desks, where buyers and sellers transact privately without a public order book, are the primary mechanism through which sanctioned entities convert stolen or illicit cryptocurrency into clean cash. Chainalysis, the blockchain analytics firm, identified the UAE as a top global jurisdiction for illicit crypto flows in its 2023 report. The volume of transactions linked to sanctioned entities routed through UAE-based platforms exceeded $1 billion in a single year. North Korean hackers, Iranian oil traders, Russian oligarchs, and cartel money managers all converge on the same Dubai crypto infrastructure. In March 2022, the same month Russia invaded Ukraine, the Financial Action Task Force placed the UAE on its grey list. The grey list is the FATF's formal designation for countries with significant money laundering and terrorism financing vulnerabilities. The UAE spent 22 months implementing visible reforms. It created a beneficial ownership register. It prosecuted several high-profile money laundering cases. It passed new anti-money laundering legislation. It established new oversight bodies with official mandates to investigate suspicious transactions. In February 2024, FATF removed the UAE from its grey list. Critics noted the timing immediately. The reforms were real, but they were implemented at the surface level. The Jebel Ali Free Zone still hosts thousands of companies with opaque ownership structures. The DMCC still processes tens of billions in gold with unverified provenance. OTC crypto desks still operate with limited due diligence in practice. The reason the pressure stopped is simple. The United Arab Emirates is not a rogue state. It is one of America's most important strategic partners in the Middle East. The UAE hosts Al Dhafra Air Base, one of the most critical US military installations in the entire region. It conducts $25 billion in annual trade with the United States. Its sovereign wealth funds, ADAA, Mubadala, and ADQ collectively manage over $1.5 trillion in global assets, including major positions in American corporations, infrastructure projects, and financial institutions. To sanction Dubai the way Dubai facilitates the sanctioning of others would mean sanctioning a government whose sovereign wealth funds own pieces of the very financial institutions doing the sanctioning. The West has weighed that calculation every year since 2001. Every year the relationship wins. Here is what the Taliban, the Russian oligarchs, the Iranian oil traders, the North Korean hackers, and the South American cartels all have in common. They all chose Dubai. Not because Dubai is secretly criminal, not because it operates in the shadows, but because Dubai was specifically engineered to attract capital from anywhere in the world, with maximum speed, minimal friction, and minimal transparency, publicly, openly, as a feature, not a bug. The West built its financial enforcement architecture on a single assumption, that every dollar on earth eventually has to pass through a Western bank, a Western clearinghouse, a Western correspondent account. That assumption gave Western governments extraordinary leverage over the global financial system. Dubai is the proof that the assumption was always incomplete. The $300 billion frozen from Russia, the Iranian oil revenue blocked by 4 decades of sanctions, the Afghan reserves locked in Swiss accounts, the North Korean crypto holdings identified but never fully recovered. None of it disappeared. It found a different address. And that address has a skyline you can see from space, a real estate market growing at 20% per year, and a sovereign wealth fund that owns a piece of almost everything you interact with in the Western economy. That is the system. That is how it works. And until the strategic relationship costs more than the evasion it enables, it will keep working exactly as designed.